There's a reason some gardens produce tomatoes so rich, juicy, and full of flavor that they put store-bought ones to shame. It's not luck or perfect weather. It's microbial power. The secret lies beneath the soil, in the world of beneficial bacteria and natural ferments. While most gardeners toss kitchen waste into a compost pile and wait months for it to break down, those who understand Korean natural farming, or KNF, know there's a faster, more potent path: fermentation. When you ferment food scraps, you're not just recycling waste, you're brewing a probiotic soil shot that can transform your garden's microbiome and, honestly, supercharge your tomato plants like never before. Fermentation is nature's most efficient way of breaking organic matter down into bioavailable nutrients. When we ferment food scraps, we're letting beneficial microbes, lactic acid bacteria, yeast, and other naturally occurring organisms predigest the material. That means when you apply it to your soil, your plants get nutrients in a form they can immediately use, instead of waiting for decomposition to run its slow course. Tomatoes in particular thrive on this microbial synergy. Their roots have a unique relationship with soil microorganisms, especially in the rhizosphere, the narrow region of soil influenced by root secretions. A healthy microbial population improves nutrient uptake, strengthens resistance to diseases like blight and root rot, and encourages vigorous growth even under stress. Fermented fertilizers deliver that microbial army directly into the soil, boosting vitality from the root up. This process comes straight from Korean natural farming, a method rooted in ancient agricultural traditions refined for modern use. KNF focuses on feeding the soil life first, knowing that healthy soil produces healthy plants. When you apply a probiotic soil shot made from fermented food scraps, you're giving your soil exactly what it needs to support explosive, balanced plant growth without synthetic inputs. Start by collecting your kitchen scraps. Avoid oily foods or anything heavily seasoned. Stick with vegetable peels, fruit trimmings, leftover rice, and even small amounts of coffee grounds or eggshells. These ingredients contain the carbohydrates, calcium, and trace minerals microbes love to digest. Chop the scraps into small pieces to increase the surface area and help microbes work faster. Next, place the scraps in a non-metallic container such as a glass jar, clay pot, or plastic bucket with a loose-fitting lid. Add an equal weight of brown sugar or jaggery to the mix. The sugar acts as both a preservative and a microbial food source. Stir it thoroughly to coat every piece of material. You'll notice that the sugar draws out moisture from the scraps. This is what the microbes will begin to ferment. Now cover the container with a breathable cloth or lid and store it in a shaded, warm area. Over the next 5 to 7 days, the mixture will begin to bubble slightly and release a mild, sweet-sour aroma. That's a sign the fermentation is working. If it smells foul or rotten, too much air might have entered the container, so tighten the seal and add a bit more sugar to correct it. Once the mixture stops bubbling, strain the liquid through a mesh cloth. This dark, slightly cloudy liquid is your fermented plant extract, your soil's probiotic shot. Store it in a cool, dark place in a sealed bottle. When you're ready to use it, just dilute it with about 20 parts water to 1 part ferment for general feeding, or if you want to give your tomatoes a real boost before fruiting, go for a 10-to-1 ratio. Pour the mixture directly around the base of your tomato plants, or if you prefer, use it as a foliar spray early in the morning. The results are surprisingly fast. Within a week, you'll notice stronger stems, deeper green leaves, and quicker flower set. You can actually amplify your ferment's potency by introducing lactic acid bacteria serum, or a labi, which is, by the way, another cornerstone of Korean natural farming. Labi is quite simple to make. Just mix rice wash water with milk and let it ferment until it separates into curds and whey. The yellowish liquid that forms is packed with beneficial bacteria that help stabilize and multiply your soil microbes. To strengthen your tomato ferment, add about 2 tablespoons of lab per liter of your strained food scrap extract. This combination not only feeds your soil life, but also helps suppress pathogens, balances soil pH, and improves the availability of nutrients like calcium and magnesium, 2 elements that are absolutely essential for preventing blossom end rot in tomatoes. Some gardeners also like to add a handful of biochar or finely crushed eggshells to their fermented feed just before application. These materials act as carriers, helping microbes cling to soil particles and root hairs for longer, which means better colonization and really longer-lasting benefits. So, traditional compost is, well, quite slow and usually takes several months to mature properly, whereas fermentation actually happens in just a few weeks. Composting relies on oxygen and heat to break down the material, but fermentation, on the other hand, relies on microbial enzymes and acids. That means nutrients aren't lost to evaporation or heat. They're actually preserved in their most potent forms. Fermented fertilizers contain amino acids, enzymes, organic acids, and plant hormones like auxins and gibberellins, which stimulate root development and flowering. Now, these compounds are pretty delicate and can't survive the high temperatures of composting, but fermentation keeps them intact. The result is a liquid fertilizer that works like a growth tonic and microbial inoculant all in one. For tomato plants, this is a game changer. The combination of rapid nutrient availability and living microbial action produces stronger root systems, higher fruit yields, and more resilience against common soil-borne diseases. Even in nutrient-poor soils, applying a fermented feed can restore vitality within a season. Consistency is key. Apply your Probiotic Soil Shot every 10 to 14 days during the growing season. Early applications focus on root establishment, while later ones help fruit set and ripening. Always dilute before using and never apply to dry soil. Water lightly beforehand to prevent root burn and ensure even absorption. For greenhouse growers, this method maintains soil fertility without chemical buildup, while for outdoor gardeners, it rebuilds microbial populations depleted by heat or rainfall. Over time, your soil structure will improve, holding moisture better and resisting compaction. To complete the cycle, you can use the leftover solids from your ferment as a compost booster. Mix them into your compost pile or dig them directly into planting beds. They still contain valuable organic matter and microbes that continue working long after the liquid is used. When you turn your food waste into a probiotic soil shot, you're doing more than feeding your plants. You're feeding the living system beneath them. This simple, ancient KNF method transforms waste into vitality, using biology instead of chemistry. It's a sustainable, closed-loop practice that keeps nutrients cycling where they belong, in your soil. So, if your tomato plants have ever stalled, struggled, or produced weak fruits, try giving them a dose of fermented power. It's natural, cost-effective, and once you see the results, you'll never go back to synthetic fertilizers again. For more regenerative, growing secrets and soil-based solutions that actually work, make sure to subscribe to Gentle Herb Living, share this video with a fellow gardener, and keep building life from the ground up, one ferment at a time.